Federal Drive is presented by GEHA, Government Employees Health Association, proudly providing health and dental benefits to federal employees and their families. Visit GEHA.com.
Melwood has been a pioneer in disability employment for nearly 60 years. Today, the organization supports workers at more than 60 federal sites, delivers tailored vocational services, and partners with researchers and agencies to expand opportunities for neurodivergent talent. Here to share how Melwood's model continues to evolve and what it means for the future of inclusive work is President and CEO Larysa Kautz. Larysa, thank you for joining me.
Thank you so much, Terry.
Melwood has been a leader in disability employment for nearly 6 decades. How would you describe the mission today, and how has it changed over that time?
Well, today, Terry, Melwood is actually a family of companies with a shared vision of a world in which people with disabilities are fully included. For about 6 decades, we were one nonprofit entity, and recently we restructured in a way so that we can serve more people, have a greater impact, and grow the number of individuals that we serve.
Tell us about that restructuring and what it looks like today.
So today it looks like Melwood Inc. is our parent holding company where we have all of our shared services, which we then flow down to our subsidiary companies, one of which is a federal contractor, a social enterprise, through which we employ nearly 900 individuals with disabilities on 60 plus federal contracts around the DC region. And we have Melwood Community Services, which provides licensed services to individuals like day programs. We have a camp for children with and without disabilities. We do after school programs. We're working on affordable housing now. So we have a number of companies with different missions, but all basically united by this vision that people with disabilities will have every opportunity that they'd like to be included in the community.
It sounds like it's more a life cycle of care.
Absolutely. We started doing a lot of workforce development and employment. That was the goal that began our nonprofit. But the more you work with that one pillar of the stool that makes up anyone's life, the more you see the need for healthcare, housing, community, and other aspects of what helps any person reach their full potential and live a life in the community that they choose.
Let's go back to the specific vocational support services that you offer. What are some unique capabilities that you provide to help individuals with disabilities really succeed and grow?
Absolutely. So we start from the pre-work world, which is workforce development. And we have done boot camps and trainings in a variety of different industries, including IT and tech, cybersecurity, AI, the construction trades, including as well as custodial, landscaping, mailroom, will help train anybody with a disability in any field that they would choose to enter. Then we'd help them find a job, either it's with Melwood or with an employer in the community. And then we stay with them as a job coach, as someone that helps them integrate into the workforce, have hard conversations with your supervisor. How do you write an email when you're angry and frustrated? and work with transportation needs, housing needs, other things that arise that really do throw barriers and pitfalls in your road as you try to continue your career.
That sounds like training all of us could use a little bit of a refresher on.
I think that's right. I mean, I think the needs of every person with a disability are not unique. I think a lot of the needs are the things that we see. And we do a lot of training for employers as well and individuals who do not have disabilities on how to help accommodate, be inclusive, and really listen to the needs of their employers and colleagues.
So as you bring these folks in to the federal contractor space at Melwood, what are the toughest adaptations that they go through, and how then do you work with government agencies to make sure that they're effectively using the talents of these individuals?
So one of the hardest barriers to overcome is taking yourself from your home environment, which you have managed to accommodate to your comfort level, to your sensory needs, to accommodate any physical needs, and to then find yourself in a job 9 to 5 every day of the week that wasn't necessarily crafted or created for a variety of different disabilities. And so we certainly work in our buildings as well as in government buildings to create opportunities to have a quiet space, to have a space where you can go kind of decompress if that's something that's needed during the day, or to be able to go, run around and get out some of the stimming type of behavior that someone might need to be able to re-regulate and just continue doing their work. I think remote work and hybrid work has helped quite a bit. A lot of our employees and other employees that we see out in the working world, to be able to have some days where you can focus without colleagues around, without a lot of noise on the work that you're doing. And it makes it easier to make it through the days that you do have to go in and have some of that social interaction, especially if you're not necessarily an extrovert by nature.
I'm speaking with Larysa Kautz. She's the president and CEO of Melwood. Larysa, I want to go back a couple of years because Melwood partnered with MITRE and the University of Washington to launch a neurodiversity at work playbook and pilot with some federal government agencies. Can you tell us what you learned from that pilot and how it's playing out in the work that Melwood is doing now?
Absolutely. So we created a training program called Ability about 7 years ago to teach neurodivergent individuals the skills they need to get a certificate in a cybersecurity field and then to be able to enter that field. And we worked with the National Geospatial Intelligence Agency to help them fill openings that they had for cybersecurity specialists and worked with them to understand the value of having someone who looks at things a little bit differently, is neurodivergent, and found that the skills that they bring to the table are unlike other skills that that organization had seen, where they can catch mistakes, they can see patterns, they can really catch issues that weren't being caught. So it worked wonderfully, and we were able to adapt kind of the Autism at Work playbook for a neurodiversity in the federal government playbook, which we hope to continue to do in the future. Right now, we're taking our Ability program nationwide and teaching other nonprofits around the country to do the training so that we can help fill the labor needs of national companies that are looking for cybersecurity, as well as now AI technicians and individuals that can get certificates in those fields. And I think the neurodivergent population is perfect for the job.
It seems like such a crucial enabler because so many times folks who are neurodivergent have a difficult time getting through the hiring process, right?
Absolutely. And that's part of the program. It's a 14-week program. A lot of it is on the substantive IT skills to get your certificate, but half of the time is spent on developing the skills that you need to get through an interview, to get through orientation, and then to grow your career and to be able to communicate with supervisors.
I want to also point out a recent study with Virginia Tech showed that Melwood's model outperforms other employment mechanisms in both quality and cost effectiveness. What is it about the Melwood model, maybe the key ingredient to your soup, that makes it work so well?
A lot of it is the wraparound supports and the professional development supports that we offer, not just to our students, but also to the employers. So having employers at the front end that have needs for the workforce really helps make sure we have the pipeline of workforce development training all the way through the job. And then we stay with the individuals and we will coach them. And if they don't make it in the first job, we will help them find a second job and maybe find a different line of IT tech to go into if the first one that they chose didn't work.
I know you've been in this space for a while, but I'm wondering, are there still things that surprise you in encounters with employers as they encounter this population?
Well, one of the employers that we've worked with, Enabled Intelligence in Falls Church, they do data annotation and labeling for computer vision models, teaching AI essentially to recognize what is on a picture or on a map. And they have both higher quality and speed in the work that they're able to do. As a for-profit company, they're recognizing the return on investment that they have by making their hiring practices inclusive of the neurodivergent population. So there really is an economic reason to do this.
And what would you recommend as best practices for other employers, public or private, who want to build more inclusive workforces?
I would encourage them to not be afraid of the word disability and to include a conversation about inclusion and accommodations right up front in their job descriptions, in their hiring practices, in their orientation, and create space for people to feel comfortable asking for accommodations, which frankly usually cost less than $400 per employee, often are free, and will create an inclusive culture for all of your employees.
And find a workforce that's liable to stick with them for a long time, right?
Absolutely. You'll find loyal employees that will not job hop, but will stay in a place where they feel welcome.
I've been speaking with Larysa Kautz. She's the president and CEO of Melwood. Larysa, thank you so much for being with me today and for the great work that Melwood is doing.
Thank you for having me, Terry.
We'll post this interview at federalnewsnetwork.com/Federal Drive. Listen to the Federal Drive on your schedule and your device. Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.